big event.
What is that?
Dave and Marie's wedding. Oh, wait a minute. No. Dave and Marie's 50th wedding anniversary.
And I just came along for the ride.
Hi, Dylan. Nice to see you.
You well.
Don't get up too close.
I was given a job and I'm going to do it.
That's a surprise.
Thank you.
How are you? Great. Good to see you. Hi, Shirley. How are you? Good. Good. Now is this
Now, yesterday was her. Oh, that's schedule.
her what? Oh, for gosh. They don't know what it is.
She's telling her secrets. Finally, secrets.
Oh, honey.
How you doing, Penny?
I'm doing well, Bill. How are you,
Chris in
sweetheart?
there?
Yeah, he's in there. Okay. Hi, Sandra. Sandra? Honey, I probably this big. And this is
My husband, Jim.
Hi, Jim. Nice to meet you. Yes. Well, it's so good to see you. I haven't seen you in a long time. Yes, it's been a long time. Come on, honey. And this is our granddaughter, Catherine. We're driving her back to University of Delaware. We're going to go tomorrow, so we decided from Rochester. Here's the group. Nice to see you. How are you doing? Oh, you're right.
You look beautiful. I think that's a little over the top. I said, today I want to be over the top. I'm in. You didn't even recognize me. Oh, wow. Oh, the picture. See Barbie and Oh, really? Oh, beautiful. Right. Love you. I love you too. Oh, hi, Emma. I saw somebody I had. You look wonderful. Thank you. You do too. So nice to see you. You too. I have to go get the rest of my attire on. Every day.
I see you yesterday. You came for lunch again?
I know everywhere they have lunch.
She looked very nice.
It really is. It's just like you know what's going on in people's lives. It's great. They just put me in the car because I had my hair cut. Look at you Well, it sounds like our group.
It is your group. Yeah. It is your group.
Now I'm ready. Thank you.
Wow.
You've got to have bare legs if you want to do that. Is there somebody behind me?
You can't get ahead of her, you know. She's too quick to ahead.
Hi, Margie, Penny. How are you?
Well, it's good that you said Penny because she'll probably call her Penny.
This is our granddaughter, Catherine.
Hi, Catherine.
This is cousin Margaret. Yes.
She should be called $1 because she's worth a lot more than a penny.
Blood knows, Tom. Blood knows. Until you become blood, Matt. He thought I would be worth a dime.
Well, I made it $1, so.
I knew you before you were born. Do you know this guy? Yes. He's working and living. Hi, sweetheart. It's so good to see you.
Thoughts on what, the issues, or the day, the weather? Well, it's a little overcast. Thoughts on it's a very, very nice venue. It's lovely to be here with my sister as we're going to.
We're all boned up, familiar with the material, right? We lived it, right?
Yes, we should hopefully remember the whole thing. You going to go off script? I hope not.
Are you going to go rogue?
I hope not. I hope not. Are you?
No.
All right. We'll see.
That would be something, huh?
Although I did have a few. Oh, I should try. No, I better not. That'd be a bad idea.
Right.
Stick to the script.
Right.
Good luck to you both.
Thanks. We could use it.
Ron saw me as a deer in the headlights 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Everybody, thanks for coming.
Oh, so that might have been pretty good for you're going to get more in practice with this.
Right. I'm going to be leading a Toastmaster chapter before this is all over. Precious the moment.
Come on, Barbara, you can do it.
Hit that high note.
Love that is shattered you, and I found with you.
I hear heart disease is the woman's biggest killer.
He knows how to kill the mood.
Yeah, there she is.
Do you want to take him in the other room?
Maybe better.
Here we are today with the brother of the bride, 50 years ago, Uncle Bill.
I was the official chauffeur.
You were the official chauffeur,
Yes,
okay.
I drove the Cadillac, I think it was.
Okay,
Yeah,
you were there at
limo,
the scene of
yeah.
the crime.
Yes.
So what did you think when you first met this young man that your sister brought home, your younger sister brought home? Did he stand out in the crowd?
Yeah, I loved him right from the very beginning.
Really? What
Yep.
did you like about him?
I liked the fact that he was tall, he was good looking, and he was very personable and friendly.
Friendly?
Yeah, smiled a lot, yep. But a little bit shy, too.
A little bit shy?
He was nice. Even my dad liked him right off the bat. And that was unusual.
Oh, really? So
yeah.
not everyone passed muster that she brought home?
Oh, no. Yeah, he thought they was okay,
Tell us about some of the rejects.
Well, she was dating a famous newscaster from Philadelphia at the time. His name was Donald Barnhouse, and he had his own 15-minute segment of the news. I think he came on at 11:30 p.m. and had a 15-minute segment about the latest news and the local news in Philadelphia and so forth. And he could just talk about any subject at all.
Wow.
I mean, he was really an intelligent guy and known quite wide, pretty famous guy. And so she started to date him, and for the first time he was going to come to the house and meet my mom and dad, I was over there that afternoon, you know, and my father says to me, you know, Donald Barnhouse is coming here tonight. And my dad had seen him on TV. And he said, I don't know what to talk to him about. I said, Dad, he's expert on anything that you want to talk about. Fishing, hunting, which were my father, cowboys, you know, anything you like. And so he says, yeah, okay, yeah. He said, I'll have to think of something. You know, I said, well, you won't have to think very much. I said, he'll probably take over most of the conversation, you know. So that was one guy. Well, let's see.
But he didn't hit it off that well with
yeah, I don't think he hit it off too well with my sister, you know, your mother.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was the main thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But I think they did date a few times, you know. So, then the next guy she met was a guy by the name of Chuck Mulhern. And they were doing very well together. And Chuck was a real nice guy, too. Much nicer than Donald Barnhouse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they went together for quite a while, and I don't know what finally broke that up, but they finally split. And Chuck moved. I think he moved south. I don't know whether he moved to Florida.
Actually, yeah, he's living in Florida now.
Yeah, right,
But,
right. But I think he joined the FBI eventually. Yeah, and he was an FBI agent, so he was around quite a bit. But Chuck was a nice guy, you know.
But no one hit it off quite like
Oh,
Mr.
no.
Geggis.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What was it about Dave that made him more compatible with Marie?
I think he was more pliable, shall we say. But he seemed to want to please Marie quite a bit, you know.
Was she difficult to please?
Look, he had a stiff back too. You know, he once in a while she would
Draw the line. She said, okay, you've gone far enough.
Yeah, he was a Geggis, you know.
Right. So she always had a strong personality growing up.
Oh yeah, she did. Oh, did she ever? I think she went to school all her life. She was a real achiever all the time in high school, and then when she went to night school, you know, I mean, she was the only one that I knew that was taking up engineering at Drexel University at night. I used to be so proud of that. I was a draftsman, and I tell all my co-workers that my sister's going to Drexel. She's taking up mechanical engineering. And they'd say, wow, they were impressed, you know, because they knew what it took to be a mechanical engineer. And she's a girl? Yeah, she's a girl. She's only like 20 years old, you know, and she's going to Drexel. So taking up engineering.
Did it take long for David to become like a member of the family?
Not really, no. He was accepted pretty early on, yeah. My mom used to say, I don't know about David, you know. He has his own ideas. I think he wants to take Marie and move up to Massachusetts. You know?
So that wasn't too popular.
No, that wasn't too good for my mother, you know. My father, he said, oh, that's okay, you know. That didn't bother him too much. So.
But, well, thank you so much. Any other questions?
Any other questions here?
No, I mean, it was happily ever after. Were there any doubts that everything was going to work out?
Well, I'll tell you what I heard. And don't tell anybody else. Just kidding.
Never.
I heard that Dave was transferred to Boston, and he took the transfer. It was a promotion, you know. And finally he said to Marie was kind of dragging her feet about getting married. And he said to Marie, you know, he says, I'm going to Boston, and he says, I'm not going to carry on a long-range relationship. So he said, you better make up your mind. Did you ever know that?
No, I did not know that.
Let's see if she tries to deny that. You know? I don't think she will.
No.
That's the real story. Yeah.
It was quite a trauma, the moving to Boston.
It was, and for all of them, my mother and my father, you know, and of course Barbara, you know, it was a big trauma. It wasn't too much of a trauma for me because I lived nearby, but
You had your own family. And...
Yeah, I mean, I was glad to see her settle down some. I think she was like 27 or 28 by that time.
Well, actually, she was 26, but almost 27.
Oh, okay.
But it was time.
So, okay.
Well, thanks very much. We're doing interviews since he was there.
Yeah, I was there. I gave him the whole story.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
We heard all about it.
Driver and everything? Did you say?
I think I did.
Yeah, he mentioned that he was the
Caddy.
chauffeur of the black Cadillac.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
white
I was
Caddy.
so proud of
The
that.
white
you know.
Cadillac.
Yeah, white caddy, it was, yeah.
And there's a picture there that pops up with us in the back seat of the white.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep. That was Chris.
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, is that Jay? Yeah.
No, that's Chris.
That's Chris.
Is that Chris?
Wait, no, that's Jay with the water wings. He had the water wings. They didn't have water wings when Chris was the baby.
So thanks for the chance to give the interview.
Well, we appreciate it, and now that
Very
Dave's
nice,
here, we can
okay.
ask him some questions as well.
You and Marie can enjoy it later, and you want to probably sock me one for giving out the sordid details.
We heard it all. We heard all about it.
Hi, what are you guys up to here?
We're doing a little we're doing interviews.
They're interviewing it.
Since he was there at the scene of the crime.
Yeah, right. They wanted to know what was going on even before you met Dave, okay? So I gave him...
I never heard any of that.
You'll get some of
We're
it.
going to have to huddle.
Oh my
Well, you know what? I still remember what struck me funny. One time we were there at Easter. I was there at Easter, and Marie came down the steps. She had a fur on, all dressed up in a hat and everything. And Dave was standing beside me. He says, "Here comes Lady Astor." I cried, and she came down the steps just like Lady Astor, you know. It cracked me up. Every time I think of it, I have to smile, you know. Okay, that's all.
So do you remember when you
Enough of
first
the family secrets.
do you remember when you first laid eyes on your
I
wife?
do. Well, did you see the ballroom in there? Did you go through? There's some curtains.
Yeah, I saw the ballroom.
Well, she was sitting over there. It was a larger room then, and she was sitting there with 4 other gals plotting their trip to Mexico. And I was standing at the bar, and the band started to play, and I said, I think I'll ask her to dance. So I went over and asked her to dance. We danced. I told her my life story, sad as it was at the time.
Do you remember what song it was, or no?
No,
But you thought, oh, this. What did you like about her?
well, she was gorgeous to begin with. Very well trimmed. And she was very nice to me. You know, she was very.
She listened to your life
She
story?
wasn't one of these. Get the dance over with and let me go back to my friends. You know, it was one of those tales. So it was nice. And so I said, sometime I'd like to have you show me a little bit around Philadelphia. I'm new in this area. I'd really like to know more about the city and things to do and so forth. So she said, well, that would be nice. But we're going off to Mexico now, so maybe sometime, So I said, can I have your phone number? Well, so a couple of weeks, about a month passed, and I went down. There was a swimming pool right in back of we had a swimming and tennis club here. It was a different kind of club at that particular time, a swimming and tennis club. And there she was in the pool with a friend of hers. And she tried to palm me off on her friend. I mean, she introduced me and then she vamoosed. Yeah. So I waited for her outside the changing room, with the ladies' room. She came out and I said, you told me that you'd be willing to show me around Philadelphia sometime. And she said, yeah, I did. I said, may I have your phone number? Finally got it.
Woohoo! Ooh, he closed the deal.
Well, I came close to closing the deal.
Now, did you have to pass muster with any of her friends and family members before?
Well, she ran me
were
by
able
her
to?
parents, and they seemed to approve. So it all worked out pretty well. I'm very grateful.
Now, were there any serious ones before her, and what happened with that?
Oh, indeed. I was engaged. Let's see, when did we get engaged? Got engaged previously in the fall of September of '61, and we were getting married in December of '61, and I got called back into the Army for the Berlin crisis.
Thank heavens
That's
for
the
the
rest
Berlin
of
crisis.
That was the rest of the story. End of one story, beginning of another one. So we broke it off in a friendly way. She went her way.
Well, we heard there was some drama involved with you getting transferred to Boston, and that you told her, "Listen, I'm going to move to Boston."
Told Mom.
Right. Can you tell us a little bit about when it could have become a long distance relationship, and you said,
Well, she said, I said, I'm going to go up to Boston. She said, well, how about if you look around for a job in Philadelphia? There's publishing jobs down here. And I said, I don't think so. I'm with a good company and I want to go back there. So she said, well, I guess this is kind of she said, I would never consider going at this point in time. And I guess we just ought to, conduct a long-distance relationship for a while. I said, okay, we can do that. So I went home for the summer, went back in August, and then she came up in late August, and that's when I semi-closed the deal. I got her to say yes for the first time, and then subsequently we came back to Drexelbrook. I came down in September, and I presented her with her engagement ring here.
so she was seduced by the good time you showed her in Boston? She
Very
convinced.
definitely, yeah.
Good. At that point, the picture of your children, if we went back to the future, the picture of your children would start fading away.
I took her over to Nantucket on that visit.
Uh-huh.
And we stayed at a guest house there. The guy, you got to realize this was 1963. No, 1964. And the owner of the guest house called me over and he said, now, I want to let you know that I run a legitimate home here. This is your room and this is her room. I said, okay, fine with me, no problem. After all, this is 1964, not 2004.
Right. So what did you do in Nantucket? You took her to restaurant and
we went to
beaches.
restaurants, beaches, did the cobblestone streets. Fantastic, loved it.
It was beautiful, huh?
Yeah.
Lovely. Well, thank you so much.
So that's it in
any
a nutshell.
questions? Okay.
All right.
Send in the next one.
Oh, I didn't know people were being sent in.
Well, we're interviewing principals at the scene of the crime. Should we interview my mother now, or?
Sure.
Okay, we're here with the bride of 50 years ago, and we're just going to ask her a few questions about how we came to be here 50 years later. Tell us about when you first laid eyes on the man of your dreams.
Okay. Well, I was here with 4 other girlfriends, and we were planning a trip to Mexico. And we were sitting at a table at a place where right here in Drexelbrook, where there was dancing, and they had a live band, and we were having a few little embellishments, and this tall man came over to our table and asked if I would like to dance.
What was your first impression?
My first impression was that he was a very young college boy, and probably much younger than I was. And I was dancing with him, and he was telling me about how he was in love with this girl in Washington, D.C., but he was called back into the Army, and he had to leave this girl behind. He had been engaged to her, but they had to break the engagement because he was on board to go over because of the Berlin Wall being put up, and he had to be on the ready. And it was a sad story. He had to leave for a year, and when he came back to his job, he was no longer in Washington, D.C. He was transferred to Pennsylvania. And here, right here where we are in Drexelbrook, he was living in an apartment and very lonesome and didn't know much about Philadelphia.
So he didn't strike you right away as Mr. Right?
No way, no way. My heart was touched by this young man who had served his country and been dragged away from a loving relationship and transplanted into a place that he didn't know very well. And I came to the fore and said, well, how do you like the Philadelphia area? And he said, well, I don't know much about it, and I really don't know where to go to have fun and whatever. And I said, well, maybe I could help out, but I'm on my way to Mexico, so I won't be around for a while, and maybe later on we'll meet again.
So you were sort of not very committal on this right away?
No, not at all. In fact, I don't even think I gave him my phone number, but I figured that I might see him later sometime, at Drexelbrook, since he was living here. Well, after I came back from Mexico, probably close to a month later, I came swimming with another girlfriend in the evening after work. And there he came into the pool area, and I recognized him, but I could not remember his name.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. Well, with a name like Geggis, he could remember. It's not a name you hear very often. So, but I did remember that he went to Boston College. I had heard about Boston College. It was a great Jesuit school, and they were very academically superior and open-minded. And so when he came by and said hi to me and remembered my name, I said, well, hi, Boston College. And that sort of got me by. But I thought he would be perfect for my girlfriend, the one I was with. She was getting her PhD at the University of Pennsylvania, and he was a college textbook salesperson, and he would make a perfect mate for her, right? So I said, really, I would like to introduce you to my friend here. So I left the two of them. And they were chatting away and everything, and I was swimming and having a nice time. And then it came time, it was a nighttime swimming session, so it was time to go home, and I just went and got ready to go. And as I walked outside the ladies' room, who was there waiting for me?
There he was.
But my future husband. Well, after 3 dates and taking him to places that were fun, a light dawned, and I said, this guy really has possibilities. I think that he would make a very good partner. So the rest of the story,
And here we are.
on and on, and here we are, and I'm still in love.
Yay! Okay, it's time for lunch now. Little lunch.
He looks like a senior congressman up there.
He does. He could be in Congress for sure. Look at everybody.
Everybody's looking good.
Yeah, they are.
Waiting for
Yay! Yay!
Oh, yeah, he's gone. I should say, was that rehearsed? I didn't, nobody told me. No, it isn't.
77 years old.
Well, welcome to all of you here today. I don't know if I really need this microphone. You think I do?
Gives you more authority.
Give me orders already, people. Anyway, welcome to Drexelbrook and our 50th anniversary shebang here. Drexelbrook has particular fond memories for both of us. We met here 51 years ago last June, and
Better get it right.
thanks, Pat.
You have any notes here?
Hmm?
You have your notes right here?
I do. I have some notes right here. But anyway, 51 years ago last June, we met. We had our first dance here, and we had a couple of subsequent dates. We came to see the Glenn Miller Band.
I know how long ago that was.
Glenn Miller was dead by that time, but somebody else was.
But his band was here.
His band was here, and it was right in that ballroom back there, right?
Yes.
And then in September of '64, we got engaged here officially. She had consented a few weeks earlier. I went out and bought a ring very quickly. Came down here, and we got together, and she always gives me the business because we were out in the parking lot, and I said, here it is. She said, no getting down on your knees, no. I said, well, I already did all that.
To somebody else.
Anyway, as many of you know from having courted and subsequently married over the years, there are many things that go on in one's mind, especially in a man's mind, about what is important in life and choosing a bride. And I knew some things going into this whole deal. I knew that I had a loving woman who came from a loving family. She was intelligent,
All of you guys.
good taste, a great sense of humor. She had to put up with me. And she was gorgeous then, and she's still gorgeous now. Anyway, whoop! I just lost one of my cards.
Hey, Marie, are you getting all this on tape?
Actually, we are. That's what Tom is doing.
But then there were a whole bunch of unknowns. But eventually, you do discover some things, which I discovered. I found someone that was loyal, someone that was compassionate, someone who was very supportive through some pretty bumpy times in life, and the ability to make me laugh more than anything was important, and a very hard worker. But the biggest thing with Marie was that she produced 4 beautiful children, which we love very much and still do. And 2 of them are here today. And, oops, I did it again. We need a holder for this card. So anyway, those are the things I did discover, and I was very lucky to find them in my bride over the years. Well, I knew they were there, but they come out every so often and big time with me. So Marie, today I renew all the vows that I took that day when we were married, with the added certainty that I will be your soulmate forever. I love you, Marie Geggis.
Wait. I need you. Dave, you're the greatest light of my life. You outshine the sun. You're brighter than that. You're more romantic than the moon. And you're the star of my life. Through thick and through thin, count me in for the next 50 years. Doesn't know this, but because he's the sunshine of my life, there's a song that I always used to sing to our children and to him, and it goes with the light. And if you know it, chime in. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. There's one more thing. We have here a couple who have celebrated far many more years than we have. And one of them just had a birthday yesterday. 83 years old, my sister-in-law, Shirley. And I'd like everyone to sing happy birthday to her. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Shirley. Happy birthday to you. Now it's time for us to have a little toast. And our two children are going to take over from here. Hello, folks.
Somebody make up some more toast.
My brother and I thought that for a toast we would try a routine like similar to car talk. After all, sibling entertainment started with Cain and Abel, and Click and Clack perfected it.
They parted on better terms, too.
Since we're here at the scene of the crime where they met, we thought we'd take you down a little stroll down memory lane.
And before we're finished, you'll probably be asking yourselves, are we there yet?
You have to admit, we had it pretty good growing up.
I think the less I admit to, the better off I'll be.
Will you admit to drawing my name all over the walls of our house to get me in trouble?
I'll admit that worked pretty well. Getting you in trouble part, that is.
How did they put up with us?
I don't know what you're talking about. I behaved like an angel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah, Lucifer was an angel, too.
I have some vague, foggy recollection of occasionally straying from the path.
Straying from the path? I think your favorite song growing up was Highway to Hell.
No, it wasn't. It was Stairway to Heaven.
Aren't we supposed to be talking about Mom and Dad here?
Yes, but I think everybody thinks we're supposed to be talking about Dave and Marie.
I wasn't here, but from what I've been told, they met around here in 1963. Immediately, a shared, strong faith drew them together. Dad was working at a company called Addison Wesley, and Mom was an administrative assistant at Scott Paper Company.
Didn't they call that secretary back in those days?
Yes, but you have to admit, administrative assistant has a much better ring to it. Anyway, Dave wanted to work closer to his company headquarters up in North Reading, Mass.
I heard a claim that he wanted to be close to his mommy, and work was just a cover for that.
They bought a house in West Boxford, Massachusetts, where we had our early formative years. It would be hard to imagine a more idyllic childhood. Dad worked in North Reading, and Mom was our mom full time. She catered to all of our needs. We didn't play soccer, but she was our soccer mom. She catered to all of our extracurriculars, and during the summer we usually spent full-time fun at the country club.
From September to June, she tried to make sure we were taking in our education. There were day trips to American Revolution sites in and around Boston and Philadelphia with our cousins, as well as trips up to Old Montreal, where we couldn't wait to get back to the swimming pool. And Christmas mornings were incandescent, not only with the joys of piles of presents, but also from the lights Mom used to capture all of the excitement on film.
Over the winter of 1977, we decided to upgrade to a house in the town over in North Andover, Massachusetts. The new house had a pool.
Which I never swam in, but I was forced to clean.
Nobody forced you to complain about it, however. Anyway, we stayed in North Andover, which became our launching pad into the wider world. And to make sure we had an even better launching pad, Mom rejoined the workforce full time. As much as we might try, it would be hard to find a better environment to grow up in.
I would still like to reserve my right to complain.
Complaining is a lot like driving. It's a privilege, not a right. In 1987, they purchased a retirement summer vacation house on the coast of Maine. And just before the end of the millennium, they sold the house in North Andover and moved up to Maine full time. The winters are long up there.
Very cool.
I'll attest to that. I'm the only one in the family who still stays up there full time. They decided they wanted to be in sunny Florida for the winter.
Do you ever stop complaining? Maybe they want to be closer to their daughter who doesn't complain 7 months of the year.
Are you complaining about my complaining?
I am simply asking the question so I can more accurately report the story.
We want to thank you all from the bottom of our hearts for coming out to celebrate their 50 years together as a couple.
We are truly grateful to have had them as our parents, and we are truly grateful to you, their family and friends, for coming out to help us celebrate this achievement. Thank you all so much. Now let's raise a glass to the couple who has set a high bar for living in happiness and harmony. Hear, hear.
Hear, hear. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. Good job.